I'm at the Sun Library. I was just actually shopping for food, currently eating a yogurt and posting on Facebook. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. Facebook is available in how many countries? Those people that I grew up around, they're stupid. They're like, I'm here at this networking event for social media because I'm so and so's wife. That's why I get to be on Facebook. So literally behind the scenes, they're just sex addicts. Ew, 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 ew. Amor. I miss data and miss my mom. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, they're so good. I'm seeking the penalty. For mostly everyone in my family of origin, their relatives, colleagues, and neighbors. I'm talking that in this post, NATO, Interpol, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Justice Department in the United States. There's no electricity in my apartment. I'm a victim of hate crime. I'm beautiful, kind. I don't annoy. Whatever. I stay to myself. I'm my own best friend. And some people can't even stand that. What else am I staying in this money? I'm seeking the death penalty from Che Cordero. Those leeches kill for dick and for vagina. And for status of my daughter is in this college and her kid isn't. Like they don't ever praise their own kid. It's always like mine is in this college and hers is the lazy one that isn't even in college. Because they're sex addicts, they want to make it known that as if the vagina is always available. So they use college as an identifier of if she didn't attend college, she doesn't have goals and her pussy's available to us to rape all the time or at least fantasize about it. They're stupid. They're stupid. They're so gross. Ew. What else? 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 I love these two. Charles J. Kalani. Ace. Did we say Coronado when we were on this trip? Is that where that was at? Possibly. Possibly. And what else did I have on that trip? Which what else? 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 Again, like a lot of people are like, she has or had a great view from her parents' home, so this is like the same concept to her. Her kids, one just walks in, gets one's room keys, and doesn't make a big deal out of it. Did I not show about it? They offer free toys for kids in the room, or like it's, or was that another hotel? I think this is where they borrowed toys, and that's that trip that I got Matyoshkas at a toy store and some other thing. There was a toy shop somewhere. And I got them some robot and doll girls, matryoshkas. Well, since 1888, I'm just reading through the Hotel de Coronado website. That's so good. That's so relatable, all the pictures. Like, for this is what my Facebook looked like a few years ago. This is so funny. Did I take the picture or not? Wait, is that from their Instagram account? What? I'm bored. What? What else? What else? What else? And these two. What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm saving those. Can pitch for people to give me money. What else? 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 That bridge was so much fun. What else did we do there? You can decapitate everyone that steals from me. You can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission. I'm always having to vacation if someone is home. And I pay for it and I love it though because this is such a classic. I just read that it was built in 1888. That's impressive. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Always paying to stay in someone's home because I'm a victim of theft. What else? I'm bored. The library closes at 6. How much money do I have? I can get a pizza. Leisure at Central Market. 14 only shows up to Central Plaza like every hour, I think. So I have to plan my trip according to that. I missed it in Mescaloni. I missed it in Mescaloni. It didn't get updated. It didn't get updated. My electricity bill's past due. That's not uncommon for a lot of people that are victims of a hate crime. I'm always doing the right thing. I mind my own business. I don't do group chats with leeches behind the scenes. I'm always by myself or with my kids or outside seeing, hoping maybe to meet someone. What else? What else? What else? Some people don't want to be desperate and give me money right away and be like, because relatives like literally made her announce that her vagina was. So that's in bad taste, and I understand. Like there may have been some people excited to meet me, and they're like, "Oh no!" After like she literally had to cry on the internet. Say like I'm semi-available for. Eso no se dice. if one doesn't have to. I that picture that I took downtown a while ago, I messaged Edgar while he babysits Tiny Kehlani. I was relaxing, at least trying to lately. These leeches are behind the scenes illegally prostituting themselves. They're so gross. So basically, these dicks brought on many ladies to San Antonio decades ago after my parents and some people in the community that I grew up around saying, well, Arlene voted that she agrees with cards being accepted at buses. We just had like a few relatives move to San Antonio that don't carry cash. They don't like carrying cash. Some people don't like carrying coins. Other people are like, truly, I just want to put this on my credit card because I'm low on cash and I wish I could. But there's no option always of getting money out of a credit card, but then one has to pay fees. So all of that was evaluated decades ago. And I don't know if my dad is in the boards, knows people, or again, as part of like the coronavirus project where like I am really influential, that I can achieve world peace just by being myself. So my dad wanted it to be, or some people, maybe not even just himself, to where people are being like giving rewards in some sort of way because it's not a priority. It's not something necessary like buses accepting just cash was a system for a lot of people and may remain that way for a lot of people, and people should be able to carry cash or have an alternative to getting cash out to pay for a bus fare. So they basically, without this being their project, they brought on like every legal hooker that would volunteer decades ago to San Antonio to Rica pretend to be me. So basically, people are like, oh, there he is, an illegal prostitute. Not like, oh, that's like Arlene's place. They're stupid. What is it? Mixing in reality with play pretend too. Some people do the king queen thing. And is this one replaceable though? And who has hierarchy or not? These people kill for taking pursuers. E- ew. So my dad decades ago said to me, I'm not gonna give you money. Because then you'll possibly be like, I'm in San Antonio just visiting. Around the same time that they were like publicly with an illegal hooker here pretending to be me. My dad was like, I don't want like the to happen in Illinois. Some people in San Antonio, possibly from Villa, possibly from the city. I remember. Then my dad was like, no, I'm not gonna give her money so that she goes on to San Antonio while this leech is there with illegal prostitutes and making it known and that she's aware of it. Because then that'll defeat the purpose of like you can't get into illegal prostitution and take credit for progress when you're like the leech that's taking away from people. I sat on a bench earlier. There's an art activity program this week, and there's also a workout program as though I was in the gym. I need outfits. What else? 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 I posted this earlier. The rapists, murderers, and thieves are trying to traffic females onto my vagina, which is disgusting. They've already tried before, knowing that I'm not attracted to these leeches. They're very aggressive, so gross, disgusting, trying to be me. They're stupid. They're stupid. They killed Gloria Nisa in retaliation for me not having sex with them, and because they mock polyamory. They're stupid. They're embarrassing. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I posted this yesterday. What else? 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 I'm seeking the death penalty for everyone that says my money gets in the way of mercy. I know there's no one to What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm born. That can be interpreted in many ways for people, but as long as you practice safe sex, you shouldn't be in trouble. What else? 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 I'm bored. I missed it. I was going on. Something like GoFundMe campaign to be phone. That's interesting. I wonder if they go and track those people into the money bank. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm sending my GoFundMe campaign to the phone. Good. Alrighty, for this morning, I'll order breadsticks, egg, 2 spoonfuls of peanut butter, and some sour cream chips. Not my ideal breakfast. I don't bet they're starving because there's some assholes out there that don't understand what family is. They don't understand that there's no family rivalry. The Olympics have existed for decades. Even got in the way so I couldn't attend the Paris Olympics by stealing my money and getting in the way of me receiving money. He's a terrorist, so disgusting. A sex addict, a porn addict, so stupid. I don't ever want that near me. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. So, I thought provoking earlier as I was waiting for a bus to arrive to a bus stop. Was this a download or a screenshot? That's interesting. And did I save that picture? They're stupid. They think that when did I save that picture? There's Alex with Britney encamados uno con el otro mientras se violan. You can decapitate Brittany Akerson. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that rape me, that steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. These leeches, Michelle Cordero, Sonia Alvarado Chapman, Carolina Chavez, Gustavo Cáceres, even Iker Muñoz Carrero, Ginny Gendaliris, Lorenzo Suárez, Marilyn Lorenzo Suárez se creen que yo lo investigo a él y que les voy a decir que él hace en su vida when they're not with each other, raping each other. They're stupid. They're stupid. They're so gross. Ew, ew, ew. What was that picture? When I'm financially stable, I plan to travel the planet and meet people, ideally polyamorous. Where did I have this picture saved? I can't find it in my camera roll. Maybe I deleted it. Anyways, I thought provoking because there's like a significant amount of people that go into the teams that design just one piece. So from that point of view, what else? What else? What else? What else? But there are many cabritos before him. That's so lovely. I miss that about being around my parents. Sometimes older people that before my kids were born, they're like, I'm starting to get jealous. Like my parents did, were like, were you? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Relatable and good times. You can decapitate Carolina Chavez. You can decapitate Michelle Cordero. You can decapitate Sonia Barado Chapman. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his systems that rape me, that steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving. I purposely avoided being taken hostage. And behind the scenes, like, wow, I was a hidden for hope. They would have taken me hostage and invited me to parties that I don't want to be at. And then some people get mistaken and labeled as good times out of sarcasm or out of forgetting that they're a victim of amnesia due to the abuse of those people that took one hostage. What else? 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 So what's the problem here? Why I don't have money? If that's what my life looks like to them always. To them always. I even saw a picture of me earlier where I'm carrying Kailani, one of those things, a baby carrier. Or looking for that picture of Jaden in a hoodie that I took a while ago. I can't remember if he was already standing like that, or I set the camera in front of him and then he just grabbed his hoodie and covered his face. Where was that at? What else? What else? What else? More. Was it good purchase? Those. What is it? Candles. Where was this? Oh, no, this isn't the right album. This was cute. This was cute. What else? 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 I had my days where I'm like, I don't want to look too pretty and these people complimenting me. What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm in the mood for a vacation out of money. Getting water. Again from the water fountain and eating my donuts. And what's going on? You can look everything my siblings that want to play into that I'm poor will be steal from me. As if I'm Barbie Latina. That's why I have Barbie Latina with a PayPal account. Barbie Latina that lives in a really nice apartment complex. I always pick one with a pool that's supposed to be roach free. What else? 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 You can decapitate my homie and slaughter so sons that rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. They're stupid. I don't ever want that near me. They're stupid. They're disgusting. They raped me in my parents' home decades ago, so they're trying to traffic me into Puerto Rico to where I live with my parents for them to enter my parents' bedroom without permission. Because that doesn't mean that my dad will allow it now that they killed my mother. And he will just rape me. My dad used to report the police every time that he kidnapped me and took me to my own home with him to rape me. It's disgusting. This leech was driving my vehicle that I had at 19, brand new. I didn't get to drive. They feel pride in that shit. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. You can decapitate Evelyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Yamina Sarero Steels from me, Jada, and Kehlani trying to see that I get raped, so I run to his arms. You can decapitate Evelyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Gilbert Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Jimmy Gendar Vicente Lorenzo Suarez. You can decapitate Berenice Venegas. You can decapitate all these people. You can decapitate all these people maybe for the death penalty for housing. You can decapitate Gustavo Cáceres. You can decapitate us. Margarita Correa. You can decapitate Carolina Chavez. You can decapitate David Ledesma that tries to take me hostage so that I'm miserable and I don't marry a man that will actually love me. Or he tried to kidnap me before I got to have babies with Edgar and be happy with dating Kehlani and Edgar. They're stupid. They create a storyline. They don't understand rejection. They're like, well, he must have kept her away from there. Do they fight and then rape each other? That's usually the pattern of grossness that they have. That kind of people, they're disgusting. You can decapitate Richie Hill. Well, he raped me in 2023. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I filed a police report against David Ledesma for raping me. There's like a significant amount of people behind the scenes after seeing my vagina picture. It's so disgusting. Like todas esas leeches que used to attend Genies and Dadity's bouncy house trampoline shit. They all rape each other until they try to attract me anyway. That they can. They're stupid. They're stupid. And then ellas violan a David Ledesma y se dejan violar por David Ledesma. En lo que él le consigue que me violen o my vagina picture. Or both. They're disgusting. They're embarrassing. What else? Why is this? Not showing up with the dates when the picture was taken. I did cook for myself. Yeah, I'm gonna shop at Banana Republic. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I love cooking for myself. And I don't have choose in my apartment. What else? What else? What else? What else? I filed a police report against Richie. Is one. My siblings won a real life telenovela, so they stole my money and they tried to rape me. So instead of knowing that I'm happy, this is what they watch every day. They're like, oh, police report her begging for money. They're terrorists. They're not even powerful. They're stupid. So stupid people are trying to let me die of starvation just so that my siblings get the death penalty, I've heard. They're stupid. They're stupid. So I don't have a friend. Because they want to like take me hostage. My siblings want to take me hostage that I can just do activities with them. They're stupid. You can decapitate Sarah Francis. You can decapitate Oliva Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate David Ledesma. Oh, that's her husband. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Giro Lorenzo Acevedo. They're disgusting. What else? 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 You can decapitate Richie Hill. That raped me in 2023. When did I file that police report? What else? You can give me money in person through PayPal. It's AR Blue Sky. Blue Sky Designs Go and lo que estoy pensando. Straight to my heart. Arlene Lorenzo Art Shop. INTAYIAFAY. I'm Tire Shop. My GoFundMe campaign is gofundme.com/f/Arlene-Lorenzo-Asabe. You can decapitate whoever sent me this message, as long as it's not Jaden Kimani. That's still being abusive towards me. As to separate Jaden Kimani from me. Is David Ledesma suicidal in a clinic because he didn't get to tell me that I was never the one after he raped me? Constantly gente, they're stupid. They are stupid. Ellos y ellas se violan, waiting for the day que alguien me obligue a que ellos y ellas me violen. They're stupid, so gross. Ew, 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 ew. They're disgusting. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez's sons that have raped me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. Esos tipos son unos puercos, una basura, una asquerosidad. Ew, 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 ew. Every holiday sentiment they repeat it back in front of me. They say, that if you were the one, then you would have been pursuing me. They say that if I abuse you, then you'll come run into my arms. They say that if I make you cry, then you'll hug me. They're stupid. They're even as an adult, ellos se comportan. Fuck. Son puerco. the wife into their wife. You can decapitate Margarita. You can decapitate Jennifer Mari Vasquez. You can decapitate Jenitza Munoz. You can decapitate Jennifer Solarte. You can decapitate Grisel Soto Rosa. These people are disgusting. They're raping out there with like, oh, Arlene, hoy no puede estar en Tinder porque mira cómo está así. So they use other people's misery to impose themselves into. They're stupid. They're so gross. They're sex addicts. They're porn addicts. So gross. Mira eso, hating on my kids. This leech stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, steals my money, and gets in the way. You can decapitate Evelyn de Jesus. You can decapitate Erika Gardapi. You can decapitate Janice Vega. You can decapitate everyone that's caused my anxiety, my depression, my poverty, my homelessness, trying to get my attention. My attention is for myself, and being as single as I am, Jaden and Kehlani, that's it at the moment. That's how I want it to be. That's how I like it. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. They're doing surveys raping people who could be a better mother to Jaden and Kehlani than me. They're stupid. They're stupid. They're the worst that this planet has ever produced. Actually, yeah. They've killed millions of people being so gross. What else? What else? What else? What else? In the meantime, you can give me money in person through PayPal. It's AR Blue Sky Design School, lo que estoy pensando. Straight to my heart, Arlene Lorenzo Art. Shop INTAYIAFAY. I'm sorry, shop. Sadly, one needs to let him know that he wasn't or isn't ever in control. Ew, down to that part. It's like I want him to kill himself. He's dead to me. And he goes on bragging behind the scenes with people. That's usually the audience, like people like Michelle Cordero. They're like, oh, my daughter's pretty, right? Ew, oh, ew, 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 ew. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? He mocks polyamory. He's so stupid. There are good husbands out there. We've heard at family parties that set everything for a wife, like out of kindness while she's having babies with someone. So he's like, I'm gonna pay someone to ruin your hair. Y te lo queme. Oh, he pays for your hairstylist and it's always perfect. Oh. How big is your home? How much is your inheritance that you're making? Obvious that you have. Your dad drives a $30 million vehicle, that it's very obvious to him that you have money. Or he's CEO of a company and not a janitor taking care of his own kids so she didn't get killed while in kindergarten at school. But that's why he's upset. Because my dad enrolled me in school so that I could rehabilitate the Yolanda Suarez Lorenzo's request. And he was my bodyguard, literally. Literally. And I didn't ask of him of that. What else? What else? What else? This leech has been trying to kill me before my birth for my generational wealth. Ew, ew, ew. He raped me, so I can't find anyone that will love me. He gets in the way of me receiving money, so I'm unhappy. They're stupid. They're stupid. So girls, they're less than because they behave less than. They're embarrassing. What else? What else? Where is the husband? What else? I need this. This is so relatable. Like I was waiting for something like worthy of it. This is so relatable to my life. What else? I missed data. I missed good morning. How small is this thing? I don't know where is that picture of me with my bicycle. Oh, I'm not gonna look into every picture that I have. How do I can match every picture to something that I've done? Oh, possibly even wearing. Oh, okay. This gets noted sometimes, those leeches, because they're sex addicts and they're so girls. They hate it when one visits the beach in pleno invierno and they're not wearing a swimsuit. They're like, no, don't teach that to people. Is what this type of leech is. They're sex addicts, they're porn addicts, so gross. Ew, ew, ew. So, what was I wearing? I can't remember. What else? 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 I'm not in the mood to match them all. Oh, that does. Like, I have several, so I don't want to match it. Like, I visited several places that I can recreate all of this, so I don't want to match it to just one hotel or one location that I did all of this. I wonder if Tina Kimani will visit again. That would be fun. I'm bored. I'm bored. Oh, this is a Hilton property. How cute. What else? 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 Or there was a different. It was a different hotel. That there were toys. Oh, they want to show me how they were all there together like a week after. Do I make plans with myself with Edgar and take my kids to do something? And then they're like, dale, dale, everyone. Yo creo que se quedaron en el coronado. Dale, let's recreate the pictures como si estuviéramos aquí. They're stupid. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. They mock polyamory. So stupid. So stupid. So gross. So I purposely didn't talk to any of them. Behind the scenes, porque after reading this, I'm like, oh, these are just confessions of how gross, how gross they are behind the scenes. So there's no point in me talking to them privately. They're gonna mock my life with a girl, and I don't tolerate that. They want to tell me that after I separated from Edgar, they sent Richie Hill to that hotel in Miami that I stayed with Edgar, and they took better pictures with of Richie Hill and Edgar than Edgar with me. No one can be me. What else? What else? What else? What else? They don't get it. They're stupid. They're stupid. They're so gross. They're worshippers of my vagina. Disgusting. Ew, so they band together very grossly. Ew, 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 ew. I don't need to go on privately to find conversations between them to show you that they're gross. Individually, they don't shine like that. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Who's gifting me money today? I want to see money in my PayPal account and my GoFundMe bank. I guess so. So this like I was born in my only food post besides the yogurt was like, wow, that's impressive. On Facebook. And I put sickle seed. As in, there's always like a little section where there's that because that bone in one, like even the flavor is different. Full, it tastes like blood. What's in it? Though if washed and marinated well, it's not that gross. What else? I moved to the United States in 2004. Pero se consigue, siempre había un área donde hay like one or two packages like twice the price. I'm like, I don't care, I'll take it. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. So that was my reaction when I read that post. Also because I prefer to be vegetarian for those. And then that too. Chicken thighs and plantains go well together too. What else? What else? What was I gonna get? What picture I was gonna look for? What picture was I gonna look for? I'm bored. I'm bored. You can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission, everyone that steals my vehicles, everyone that doesn't know where to nurse the money, everyone that steals my money. Was that a picture? Oh, that chicken dish. Did I delete it recently from my phone? Um, this. And then I thought, okay, well, then here's mine. Porque that is practicing grave. And that was his dish. But I order it sometimes because it's so good. But I have a preference for this. What else? What else? I'm bored. So I'm playing Match My Feelings with myself. That's what it's called. I have nothing to prove to anyone. What else? 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 So there's no need for this. Is why my has me semi-suffering of starvation without my kids. Porque if I were doing the thing, I wouldn't be sticking to that penalty for the people that abuse me. It's a lot more pleasurable than talking to a lot of relatives. But at least it's a statement to a treat, not like replacing a person with a donut. There's no such thing. What else? What else? What else? What else? So what is that I read about that chicken? They're decades long. And I have, oh, where's that picture though? A picture of chicken thighs. I'm just making a statement in my head. To some people say that's what we call the X. It happens. What? Like I can relate to them, but I'll possibly order that dish. Where was? Oh, I had to Google. Like get on my Google Photos. Unless I search for, I look forward to Morgan Smith. Come on. Things about water. Don't know what else. And then there's the thigh, chicken thigh dish that I have. Oh, so what is the problem with what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They thought those leeches that if they steal my money, that I would turn into a sex addict like them. They're stupid. They don't understand intelligence. Well, they're embarrassing. I don't want those leeches. Man. You can decapitate Claudia Gabriela Martinez Urias. You can decapitate Burgundy Woods if she stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, heads and owners, and please. You can decapitate me on me as well as once the sons that rape me, steal my money, and get annoyed me or something. What else? Some people may say, oh, we thought there was like someone new. What else? Those are nice pictures that I took. Maybe for tomorrow with my plan to travel the planet and meet people. I don't want to be too heavy with pictures on this. What can I say? The end of chicken breast dominance. And where's that dish that I cooked? You can decapitate everyone that killed Gloria Luisa because I don't understand foreign. What else? As I hear. You can decapitate Sarah Francis that stays in my home with all my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way. What else? I'm bored. I miss Paige. I'm gonna shop at Nordstrom. There's some styles that sometimes are in the store when one is looking for jeans, what's in the one doesn't say, well, it's not the newest to be there. I miss these two. Taylani felt right at home at the Pearl that those times that we visited. That was the first time that I took so briefly for 5 seconds. They're like, oh, we've been here with that. I'm like, I've been working this whole time for a year or so. But then I got over it because the reggaeton music was playing. It was one of those nights where sound, scream, ice, sound, whatever was there. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I picked like a really good night to be here, so I'm not upset. Like any other night, it would have just been like, we're just here at the Pearl dining. And that wasn't even that night. What else? What? Is the age where he could stay alone sometimes in the house, at the apartment, and saying to me, well, why don't you go hike with Kaylani or head over to the pool with, no, not to the pool, you never say no to the pool. But I would be like, I'm gonna walk and get flowers with Kaylani around the apartment complex, or I'm just gonna play ball with Kaylani. And there was like one or two times when he had like that age where he's like, I don't want to go with you to just head over there without me. I'm like, well, I couldn't find that picture. You can decapitate Benito Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Jiva Lorenzo Acevedo, then make a mockery out of sex. Well, they rape. They're embarrassing. They're embarrassing. They're embarrassing. They call polyamorous people facilitos y facilitas, trying to impose Catholicism onto people so that then they can literally show a spread of themselves with how many people? Hundreds maybe that they rape. And be like, that's polyamory. So they're trying to mock and recreate people that live in councils and are always doing the right thing. That's how my parents started for me. That's what it felt like. It was wanderlust, and then as toddlers for exploration, and as a preschooler, I'm like, guys, it's all of you. It's not me. I couldn't find anyone to be compatible with. So my parents stopped bringing me to orgies, and those people retaliate. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm born. Hmm. I can find that chicken dish from 2020. I remember the flowers. I know they're not like on the same post, I think. I'll just search on Google Photos. I have it saved there. And Lord, what else? I want to visit Coronado again with Jane and Kingwana. I'm bored. I'm bored. What is there to do nearby? Oh, if they had something good to comment that wasn't porn related, they would have commented. Those leeches that I grew up around. They don't ever give a compliment. They're always thinking about rape, about trying to make one feel or seem less than. They're disgusting. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm bored. Like I posted randomness, or even that post of flowers. They don't comment on anything like that. They associate flowers with like after sex, before sex. That's the only time that a man or a woman would bring those, right? They're illegal prostitutes. They're so gross. Ew. Some of them are related to me. Some are relatives of my relatives. Ew, 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 ew. Some I attended school with. They're disgusting. They're stupid. They're stupid. So gross. Trying to lure me literally into the drugs, rape, murder life. That's embarrassing that they do that. Ew. Ew, ew. What is Miguel's Cocina? And what beach would I visit? Porque that beach wasn't at the hotel. It was on the way to the hotel, I think. It was like November ish, I think. So I didn't take them to the pool. What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, he plans. So he literally like recreated those pictures where I was with Jada and Kegnani and Edgar in Coronado. Possibly even with people that he thinks I would find attractive that I've never met. They're stupid, stupid. So gross. I don't ever want that near me. Ew, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I'm bored. Why do I want to pause this video? What else is there? Share screen. Share to Facebook. Just looking through the options. What's the timestamp? Oh, when people posted in the comments, it can show the time when people posted. What else is here? Gosh, more settings. Some feedback. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I had to mend these pants. I was trying to get up without it being obvious that I may have been. Like, I mended these pants. I mean. So I'm trying to get up without making it obvious, like, because the Tan Leech, Elan Leech, they're sex addicts. Trying to look into my crotch. A judge will bring that up during. And hearing because I plan to testify against them in court if I need to. Unless these videos already count. In the death penalty being assigned to these people is guilt for me that stay in my homes without my permission. That steal my vehicles, that want to rape me, that get in the way of me receiving money, that disgusting. I missed it. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I want to find that picture. I'll just set the computer to on the other side. There's Ocean Boulevard. I'm also looking at a map. There's Coronado Beach. There's North Beach. There's the other restaurants there. There's a yacht club. There's the city hall. What else? What else? What did we do? What? You can just decapitate Sunset Stanley that said to me that I don't need a man. That's not for her to decipher me. She's stupid. She's so gross trying to rape me still. They're disgusting. They stay in my homes without my permission. They steal my vehicles. They want to rape me. They're disgusting. Esa nena da un asco pelea por Liam Baker. I don't even have interest in. Solamente por pelear because I don't let her rape me. Still, they're stupid. They're stupid. So damn embarrassing too. Ew, and her mother, ew. Also her sister. What else did I got a tutu from? And then the leech is possibly saying, Sky se lo quitó a Kehlani, ¿verdad? Kehlani wasn't even there when I picked up the tutu. He's a pedophile, rapist, murderer, and thieves of girls. I just ignore him. I'm the relative of just ignore him. I'm like, that's my demeanor. Like, I know. What else? You can dejar de Isabella, you can dejar de James sus sons. That rate means stealing money and getting away with receiving money. They want to call my sibling La Fuente de la Juventud. If juvenile were to exist, people would be embarrassed of that pedophile, murderer, and thief. And I have it in writing this time around. It's so gross. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. He went on to waste time and money that he steals from me, creating. He said to me decades ago that because he hates me and I won't let him rape me, that he would go on to create 20 plus years of evidence of how he steals my money, videos, pictures of him putting his dick in un culo que él se me envió. Huh? I thought he was dead. He's still alive. Fucking skull. Imagine my surprise when I think I saw him, or he's already dead. That's the reason. What else would I use this again? This home making mess. I got it right the other day. They gauge the size of the piece of food that one puts in one's mouth as is. Like, how can one swallow dick? They're disgusting. They're embarrassing. They get an audience of people. They're like, oh, let's be juvenile because those rich people, they're peseteros. That's so embarrassing. Oh, Chef Boyardee worshippers, Kellogg's trustively worshippers, milk worshippers, that to rape, murder, and steal wish that that's all they could eat. They're stupid. They're stupid. They want to try to get me to promote just like Chef Boyardee lifestyle for people so there's more people available for them to rape. They're disgusting. That's why they steal my money and cause my starvation. This is me. I'll contact me later. Like genuinely me. I love them. I'm meant to be slightly cleaner. Anyways, what is it? The water fountain. Can't produce more water, so I had to walk back and place my hand near the sensor. And it stopped producing water. So when did I cook for those leches? Berenice Rosa Pérez, asquerosidad del Pilar, que cuero es asquerosa. They want to give the impression that they're my lovers when they aren't. That's how they extort people's money. They're stupid, like you shouldn't be visiting her home. It's possibly what some people advise them. It's like you know that she has an open death penalty case towards you. And now there's a custody case against her because you steal from her, so you shouldn't be in her home. You can decapitate Pilar Colar that wants to pretend that she's a better mother than me. They're sorrows. You can decapitate Rosa Perez. No, I don't need a college degree. You can decapitate Benjamin Solis' sons and rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money, and then they compare me to someone that is a college grad trying to make me feel less than. They're stupid. Completing a college degree hasn't ever been like my priority. I just think that's fun. I'm extremely educated. What else? What else? What else? I'm an excellent photographer too. Pride myself in that. What else? 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 I don't need a college degree. What else? 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 Oh, I assemble a bed myself too for myself. I assembled this for myself. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, the bed already assembled. Oh, there's that picture. I like to read. I comprehend what I read too. The couch already assembled. Your sofa. I know how to shop at H&M without killing people for it. Eyebrows, so I intend to purchase those at a later time. Also get some. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I can play the piano. What else? Sightseeing, so lovely. Oof, can't read without a snack. What else? What else? What else? I love the local scene. I love playing Uno with my kid. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? There's a book about mending. Speaking of mending, it's fun. And I had the energy for it. Sometimes I just toss what needs to be mended based on my anxiety level. I know how to order takeout. I slept with my apartment unlocked another people possibly noticed that line. It was an accident. Okay. What else? Doesn't even miss after eating a donut. Very talented. I stitched that piece last year. Avid Museum attender. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I was also at Ruby City. What else? 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 Avid photographer. My mother was an excellent photographer. There was never a day where it was a fake pose. It's like natural it is. So lovely. Especially growing up in a place where the mothers literally in front of one would be like, no, fix your hair. No, put your hand like that. No. Or the kid would be like, no, 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 no. Take it again, over again, over again, over again, over again. I just don't like my face. And the parent would be like, I can't help you there if you don't like your face. Avid museum and was it library visitor? Excellent shopper. What else? What else do I not need a college degree? What I want. Oh, that's why I stopped visiting the HEB on North New Bronx. Do they not have it there? It used to be just South Flores and maybe that one on Rosillo. I know how to build muscle. I've been working on my own body for 10 years already and I was getting a setback sadly. Not afraid to eat the same thing over and over ish. As long as it's healthy, good for me. Is it just where was it that they used to sell those? Or in 2016, there has to be, they should be there, out there. Or I can check online. Avid painter. I enjoy my solitude. I haven't had a guest in my apartment by choice. That's important. I don't need to fake having friends just for the sake of filling my apartment with people if I don't want to. They go on, sadly, to fake. No, they rented an apartment where I live. That's how they stalk me and they fill it with people and say, right now, we're at the pool. And look at all these ladies that we have in bed. Live and everything. That's stupid. And people are like, she's at the library. Why are they trying to give the impression that she's with them? What else am I really good at? Nelson and Jane Gailani are separated from me because I'm a victim of theft. So I don't hide from, like, oh, there's the court. And I walk around the other way, like, nice building. And I'm there. There's a COVID. I'm going to split the screen again. Let's share screen. COVID-19 library. Bear County. What is it? Court. Oh, those people that I grew up around. Se lo había enseñado. So, they're just because you dress yourself in a Batman outfit doesn't mean that you're the original Batman or the next Batman. Oh, that delete. There is. What is it? Oh, I'm still there. But I took a picture. Live streaming. And what? Where is that share screen? There's me. Look at this isn't just an attack towards me, it's like an attack towards humanity. There's people out there like me, I imagine. Though I haven't met them that respect themselves like myself. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. What is there? There's a subway that's stuck in the place. But that could be inside of the Navy Exchange. Did I visit a Navy Exchange while there? Possibly. It was impressive just as I imagined it to be. Like 3 floors of it, escalators, elevator. Like it had been described to me, like I had seen it in pictures. Did I shop there? Maybe, maybe not. Possibly. Some surfwear that I couldn't find. Where was I living at the moment? In Utah. At the BX there. Possibly. The BX shopping isn't cheap. It's just like sometimes like 25% off. It's not like a huge discount as if it's free. So even if I was a military wife, I needed to be gifted money. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm born. Oh, where's that picture of the date? So that was in June. Possibly. Of more checks from my dad, my sister, already planning on my death and writing a name like I write it. Like, why isn't she dead already? Let's put the screen on this. Because sometimes my sibling Evelyn writes the checks for him, so she abuses him, and then he signs the checks. They get in the way of him giving me money. So was that her faking? Look, have you seen my social security? I mean, people write the A in several ways, but I even have haters that are like, ugh, you still calligraphy. Then I hate you, Marisa Vargas. I don't talk to in decades. It's like we used to do calligraphy together in school or outside of it. What? What else? What else? What else? And that had happened apparently already. My sibling trying to duplicate how I write the A, porque people like Maritza Vargas Lorenzo steals from me, would compliment me on the way that I was writing my name sometimes. They gauge how coherent happy one is based on that why. They're like, wow, that's like her pretty why that I saw her writing next to me once. What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Melissa Vargas Lorenzo. Is that if adult age steals from me, gets in the way of me receiving money, stays in my homes without my permission, and steals my vehicles? I haven't talked to her much. I like to imagine the people rehabilitate. Oh, this was the day after my birthday. Was she upset that I was still alive? What does that say? Because there's forensic examiners from the FBI that go on to examine this. I mean, my sister makes it very obvious that she wants me dead. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I want to receive money. Sharing that screen and looking for that chicken picture. What else? What else? What else? What? Oh, from the donut. One second. Sticky. What else? What else? What else? I'm gonna take Jaden Kanani bowling today. I'm gonna shop with Jaden Kanani today. And May the 4th. I can't help it. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. I'm bored. Jaden's and Kanani's social security cards. I have pictures of them. I need to reorder them. So you can decapitate your just got out. I was trying to force me to work, so my vagina isn't getting any action. Where is that picture of Jeremiah? Possibly. What else? There's that picture of pancakes and recipes. I only took a picture of one pancake and showed it online. You can decapitate behind me inside of some sons that rape me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. They're stupid. They entertain any bitch que le bouncing el pene. That will say, well, that picture's deceiving. What did her kids eat? They want a compendium of, well, to exhaust one so that one dies. Yeah, I don't have anything to prove to, because to the smart people, it's just like a basic idea of how I am as a mother. To Jaden Kingley, my children were separated from me. I just don't have Jaden Kingley because I don't have money. I'm a victim of theft, domestic violence, abuse, genocide. And I'm asking for people to give me money. And because mostly everyone in my family of origin is who steals from me, I'm still suffering of poverty and not being with Jaden Kingley. But those leeches that I grew up around that say she's still deceiving, they want to be invited in as a guest into my home when I don't want to invite them. And where is the picture of food? Oh, that was a long time ago. I'm bored. So they want to say, well, what did the kids eat? Well, you, oh, and then they want to try to force one into saying, well, your kid needs to eat it every time that you're eating. If you just ate a donut, you need to text your kid and say, eat something right now, ideally a donut. And that they do, trying to create illegal prostitution, because then the Mother of the kids gets so good, but is so overwhelmed with the abuse towards her. Says, well, I'm hostage of the and I'm just doing the right thing for myself and my kids. It seems, and she tells the police, oh, that's a foreign line to them. I'm just doing the right thing for me. So that just creates illegal prostitution because then the kids are like, well, dad won't buy me a donut. Maybe I just should run away from home so I can eat a donut. Mom, I'm now moving in with this guy. He's like a little bit older than me, but he's providing me with everything that you eat around the same time because dad was like, you don't need to prove that to anyone. Your mother's a hostage. Stop doing that. So they become hostages of whoever has taken hostage of their kids. I'm not a sex slave. I don't believe their stupidity. They're of adult age. They're so gross. They're disturbing. They're stupid. You can decapitate Edgar Gardapi. You can decapitate Sonia Barolo Chapman. You can decapitate Manuel Garcia Barrios. You can decapitate everyone that has caused my poverty, my anxiety, my depression. You can decapitate Evelyn de Jesus. These people are stupid. It's embarrassing. I don't even want to show you behind the scenes what type of stupid comment they say to entertain themselves in these leeches para que se la mame full. They're stupid. They're so gross. You can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission. Everyone that steals my vehicles, you can decapitate. Everyone that steals my money. Everyone that gets in the way of me receiving money. What people did was is everyone that I grew up around talks about having attended school or being homeschooled. So what would you do if everything in the planet would depend on just you? There's world leadership goals that some people have. And they mistake it. They're like, wow, I want to steal her money. Her parents must be so weak. If they're nice and they're not like literally on my mouth with their penis or their vagina, they're just so weak. They're stupid. They're sex addicts. They're murderers. They're thieves. They're porn addicts. So gross. So stupid. I mistake. I mistake, Nani. I'm gonna play some music. I want to plan a trip for myself, Jaden and Kaylani. What else? What else? What else? When did I cut for those people? Damn it, I saw it. So $66.50. There's my shopping trip. What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. Sweet potato spirals. I miss my old white Adidas. I miss my old white Nike shoes. Cosas. Pendiente la vida de los demás, trying to attract people to right. They band together. They're so stupid. They're embarrassing. It's so messed. I'm bored. I'm about to just sing. Let it go for myself, actually. Damn, what else? So good. There's like a few pieces of lettuce. They're right on the edge of the container. Where is that picture? You can decapitate Madeline Rodriguez, you can decapitate Victor Gonzalez, you can decapitate Señora Ramirez, you can decapitate Gloria Suarez, you can decapitate Marilia Serrano. You can decapitate Danny Crespo, those pictures that I took from Ike, my high school. And Mario, I didn't even want to be there. They're all so disgusting. They were stealing my vehicles. I had at least three BMWs by the age of 18 that I didn't get to drive any of them. And those leases are worse than hillbillies. Y se quedaron en mi casa sin mi permiso, me roban mi vehículo. They get in the way of me receiving money. They sleep on my bed. Qué asco. Ew, ew, ew. You can decapitate Amaryllis Echeverria Gonzalez. This is always hard. Oh, when did I cook for those leeches? You can decapitate Manuel Aviles. You can decapitate, what is it? Tanairi Fernandez. If as an adult she stays in my home, she's an illegal prostitute. If she stays in my homes without my permission, steals my vehicles, gets in the way of me receiving money, or steals my money. What else? What else? What else? What else? They're terrorists. What else? I love Taco Palinka. Where is the picture of you get in the way of me receiving? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission. You can decapitate Maria Luisa Pascual. They're so disgusting. They're trying to rape me. These are people of adult age. They're embarrassing. You can decapitate Lisa Munoz. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm bored. There's a reason why the Children's Museum doesn't allow people in there without a kid. For the most part. Because there's leeches like this. That oh, but they have kids. Ew. So after I posted that I was a dating Ilani at the Children's Museum, they just grab a kid that they have. They're like, Dale, it's your turn, lucky guy. I'm taking you to the Glazers, you know, whatever. I just want a picture of you there. Para que parezca que I was there too, but I'm the times stamp it. And then one day she's gonna be online like, ew, look at him at the Glazer Museums around the same time. And he'll gaslight me and say, well, I have a kid that I took there. And then he wants me to use that picture to legally prostitute himself. He wants to be pinned 24/7. He's a sex addict who's so gross. Disgusting. What else in the meantime? That's the pretty picture of King Mommy that I took. What else? 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 I'm looking for that picture. That was fun. That was fun. And pizza with dating King Mommy. What was the restaurant and then the lakes? Led by a person working there. Yeah, I was dating to the vloggers. Cuando acabo de participación al mercado, that stays in my homes without my permission. That steals my vehicles. That gets in the way of me receiving money and steals my money. Oh, no, me emociono con online. ¿Tú crees que yo vivo por online? He doesn't get what the lawyer brain is. Like, I don't know. These people, I don't feel when we come in. I miss dating. I miss going on it. I miss the hot playing around with what picture. Ahora ya soy con tres girlfriend. What else? I want to get rid of my something else. Is there a video? Yeah, video. You're like, I don't get it. Just stop it. Walmart. You don't even nothing. And there's no restaurants. So that's why they eat it too. And I want like not expensive but compared to the one. I'm like, not this one. Oh my god. It's gonna be weird. Like, I don't expect to the price of the room. I'm gonna bring the one that I love. It would be so much. Um, not like you. Direct, but I have like so many friends. I use one product and I don't say anything to anyone. The top is American Eagle. I was headed to Miami, I think, or Sarasota, or some other city. And where? Florida. What else? Hmm? Where am I from? Taylor Burn. I have opportunities. I built a nest that I need to fulfill for myself. You can give me money in person through PayPal, through GoFundMe. PayPal is there, Blue Sky Designs, go on the stickers and the straight to my heart, and so art shop, TAYIAFAY, I'm sorry, shop. You can decapitate me who's trying to kill me because my parents didn't fulfill their Catholic wedding picture fantasy for him. They're stupid. Then they acquire groupies that are just as dumb and stupid. Ew, that's an embarrassment. They want to be like the hippiest people once they kill everyone or force everyone to be Catholic. They're stupid. They don't understand thought provoking networking conversation during a family party because they're sex addicts. They're like, you interrupted my life to feed me sandwichitos. That's why that was so important. That was the motto. Hablaban de sandwichito with a smile as for the amiga el capurri. I made a little little containers for salad when they're catered. Pork, and they were upset that they were being interrupted from their sex addiction and pork addiction. Going to a family party, they say. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. All they do is complain. Namunasko, namunasko. So, one of my relatively made a modelo de la bandera de sandwichito like a food. Porque I was like, pleasant conversation, good to see you. And that wasn't just happening for when people were in orgies all the time. What else? Picture of the child born. So they want to be hip. They want to be the high orgy polyamorous people Wednesday. What is it? Wednesday force everyone to be Catholic. They're stupid. Lord. You can have a day around this was my home. You can decapitate when this my home with all of my friends. You can decapitate when this feels my menu. Everybody that's in the emergency room I can't be polyamorous. She's stupid. She thinks she's a queen of polyamory. This is una retardada asquerosa que no sabe ni lo que es ser mujer. Mucho sabe cambiarse el panty liner or menstrual pad or tampon. Said her dad decades ago about her. Ew, beyond that, she knows nothing else. She's disgusting. She's disgusting. Down restaurant. You can decapitate Jews in the Ministerial Societies. You can decapitate my restaurants. That drove her to my homes so that she could steal my vehicle. They're stupid. They're stupid. They're the Barley and Myers and Medical polyamory. We must kill them both. They're stupid. Oh, in the meantime, they invade one's privacy, those leeches that I go around, to know it is that one says to one's kids. Look at they hate Jada and Lonnie. If Jada and Kehlani are separated from me and I don't even have money to provide for myself, Jada and Kehlani. She hates Jada and Kehlani before Jada and Kehlani were born. Una asquerosidad. They hate Jada and Kehlani because they're not porn addicts and sex addicts like them. She's disgusting. Ellos invitaron a mi casa. I didn't invite them there. That's why I posted on Facebook. When they were in my homes, they had just invited themselves in there so grossly. Ew, 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 ew. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. Ellos disfrutan lo que les mama el pene y ya. Es una basura. Es una basura. Una basura. Oh my God. Hello, hello. Where is the chicken dish? Having to look at those pictures. I think that I had already. Can I miss my Canon camera? What else? What else? Let's on my camera to see what's in it. But I must be cheating. Eres un violador asqueroso, punto. Murder and thief. Que no compone nada en mi vida. And goes on to say that I'm cheating and eso no existe. No es nada en mi vida. He's just a panty sniffer. He's a mattress sniffer. He's a snooper. He's a stalker. This bleach I was eating at a restaurant decades ago. And he's like, hurry up, my dick needs attention. And Ricky already had a home with him. And he's so stupid he missed on his own birthday. De tan bruto que es. So he would rape me. Ew, ew, ew. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. I'm born. No son hombres todavía. Ew. They're embarrassing. I miss cooking ramen. You can decapitate, they're gonna this one, never. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm born. Having the Fianca's post made on entered home, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. You can decapitate. Breaker is so stupid. They tried to take me hostage and took me hostage on Facebook and Messenger. They have rape competitions. Let's see who can rape her first who gets her vagina picture. They're stupid. They're embarrassing. And what do you think, Imani? So. You can decapitated hanging satisfies the sun that rape is the main material and no answer. Even that picture makes them jealous. So they get one rate over some picture like that. Based on what I heard, very busy. Using the company, so you have a difference. Using the company, on the evidence of the That's is in my homes with all my connections. My virginity for me, which is probably one from with it. You can probably not find this to me. I wants to force me to tell you because I didn't have a run. They were grown up. They want to play as if I'm worthy of I read into decision making. They're disgusting. They're stupid. They're so gross. What else? And else? What else? They want a sex bomb the attends college. So they steal my money, trying to force me to go to college. They're disgusting. They're disgusting. They're so gross. You can decapitate me this time if you're right. You can decapitate me. No me suare 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 rape me. You can decapitate me con la dirección de Lorenzo Suárez. You can decapitate me by Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate me with the Steals from Jaden Kennedy Wednesday. You can decapitate you by Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate me by Lorenzo Acevedo. After fame, so everything that people promise me in my post is something that I work for. That isn't. You can decapitate me and Baker and that took me hostage in Messenger in 2020. He's trying to take me hostage, making me miserable so I can the rapist, murderers, and thieves. Mm-hmm. What is that? Yeah, it's good. Um, Possibly related. Relatable. With um, Lord. I'm sorry. I'm going to this. You're per community equal. Well, that's good also. And then go from has Bible study or book cover related party. I think that may have been early because it had to be early in the plan. Study because early is poor. The Congo's call. He steals my money. Bill. Trying to frame him into becoming a real again. But Lord, you can look up to even from you some sort of stuff that rate me. Just steal my money again. Saying, sorry, get my money. Confident and thoroughly. Every family knows that. So they don't give me money. Actual thank you for you. Goodbye. They think they can they really want to take me and something disgusting. Like, to me, they don't understand thought provoking. Out of families now because they're sex addicts and they're porn addicts. So anything that they heard about or heard me speaking about or listening about in a family sorrow that is detrimental to health, they want to practice it onto me. They think that being a relative is being mean towards each other. They're stupid. They said to me because I'm a huge influencer that they're gonna make my life miserable just to learn that there's a baby in Cambodia having a better life than me. And the baby doesn't have food. That was decades ago. They're stupid. They're stupid because they say opposites attract. They say if you mistreat her, she'll come running into your arms. They're embarrassing. I don't ever want them near me. They're embarrassing. They're stupid. And they head over to the Netherlands, Poland, Mississippi, Caguas. And they're all about, oh, there's that girl. I'm going to respect it. Respect it. Okay, he steals my money trying to rape me and so that I get raped. So he's been out there raping for more than 30 years. He's disgusting. What else? One. Jimmy Jindal from my mother to tell me stay away from mine. She's not stupid. She thought that I would be in a relationship with her mother. Her mother said to me decades ago, don't get close to me or see it just stops trying to kill me and look at they steal one's money, they call starvation and they think that one is gonna get attached to someone not attached to their fire. I literally was in my bedroom sometimes that my siblings would say, head over there and go talk to the baby shower, it'll be a whole time. It doesn't get the things that I was a starving mother. And love instead of work. It's good fun. Shows and five feelings and people. Then one of force me to become CEO of them just to say you're stupid, you're stupid. They abuse one, I'm not the only one in my family abuse me. To suffer from that. Because people are like, yeah, when you get a kid, everybody's need to be CEO of that. Exactly. You may want to be a doctor. They're stupid. They're money hungry. They're all after dollars and time is no human. So they fake being my parents just because they may have been there when I was engendered. I'm looking at some of them may have not said engendered. It's alright, so disgusting. I'm born. I'm born. No. Um, when I've been homeless this whole time, the last 5 years, man, I can relate to the chicken. That's how it is. After that was a long run. It wasn't a divorce announcement. Because when I read that, chicken was vegetarian, but I did eat chicken breast, I ate chicken, across the fish, and I didn't feel like shoot because I thought from that I'll take the chicken and like saving the food stamps. Does it talk about one list or I should take a screenshot of the article? Oh shit, there's literally chocolate on my breast. No, or if I can't see. Possibly remember. I heard about lawyers were from the library. Friends of mine was incredible. With that, having a conference on this community and home, see the event. Anyways, so for tech, so we were made from that's what I thought about what I thought all just everything. Dishes. What are those are decisions sometimes read these articles and make decisions based on what that I could that I can cook it privately porque siempre sometimes in the I have been wanting to get it up by some relatives needs to it's like this many cups that are lovers does me beautifully. So it's like so how you're like the chocolate at this party. You're like no, I'm the one who's wrong. Get on with the decades ago. With most leaving, sleep with, they are not which one. Mira, que come antes que se coma things that I'm gonna blame my grandparents or my relatives for my relationship not working or even not even one night stand men. dad was like, I'm just your mother's boyfriend, so let me introduce you to them because you're very well behaved. What else? What else? Hablar, and that I missed out on a caption of like, I miss someone, I don't. So for some people, it's like, let her. Anyway, she posted like no meaning behind it. Sometimes it could be something what one shares or who says somewhere relatable. I see the couple that they took it go. Even I mean, who plays a huge significance in that one doesn't wear it to a time and ideally, but even some people design one. The hoodie is on its own or hidden in some way to affect the aesthetics or the comfort of the suit and then it's yeah, that's so many people in so I have this imagine one pictures. So I it's possible he says something. And then whatever I'm hoping they like in front of them, but not even for insurance. So to be one after posting that picture of David, did he go on to raise celebrities and killed any of the people that designed spaces which any people physically see them naked? And then it's like, what? Even friend, why do you do this? What can I say to that? The design of the shoe realizes that I steal money from her and I'm gonna go to jail. So was the best course of actions that rehabilitated themselves in the line. So everyone is the same. Some people are like, why not? Okay, oh, great. You start working on the pants, you start working on the sweater, you work on the shirt, more shoes. Book issue one day has a GoFundMe campaign. The first I'm going to show to give the money is the designers of all of these pieces that her kids wear or use. Look at she literally has no family alone, doesn't make friends. It's one of those that could be like, yeah, let's so whatever, I'm happy with that birthday, alright. But I don't want to give her that, and she doesn't want that with me. So they possibly targeted a lot of people. Golden Nordstrom. What else? What else? Target pajamas and Old Navy separates. Mixed in with Target. Where was that? Target. Where did we children's place? No, because no. We like the ocean. The pants, I can't tell because there could have been children's place. Nautica too, I've done that, but sometimes I don't have an idea in mind. It's not what it's this was H&M and Target, most likely the dress that Imani's wearing. Um, this man now look what else was that girl that's I can find it with a Google search. I know I saw these online. She has several of them. They're handmade. There was one of character. There was a girl. It was like it was secure or like median or surrounded by somebody which is made up and just just imagine. I was standing in a corner and just saw her. Where does what's what else? What else? Canadian Target uniforms, and then more Target leggings and uniforms. Does she also? There's a lot of Target and everything. What else? There's not transformer. Then it goes back to I have me my career and more return like stuff. Oh, really? What what else? What else? Some waiting patiently, or some people are like, he can't get again, so she sits up and takes the left her. Like, if they say things, some people can make them pay. Or she says, two people, this is an explanation. Maria, te veo. Fue la que te está visitando. That was American Eagle. On my tan. What else? 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 I'm bored. I'm bored. The dresses from Etsy shop. Also, if I something. And they recommend the children's museum. So let's see. What else? Oh, wow. What was that? 14, 16 years ago? No. Um, I messed up. Okay. What else? So yeah, this is like see money, but still it's me. Oh, but 6 of Marvel work. And then Windows 14 got to even the captain did what else? super gross and damn pero gente tampoco. Yeah. So, my God. So, yeah, they may be faking conversations. She may have a fake account or burner phone, faking to talk to me. They're that dumb. You can become Egyptian and so they just see can become Egyptian. So what do you think? They just if you think so Capiteo. Acevedo, you can decapitate Jimmy Lorenzo Acevedo, you can decapitate Germinas Carrero, you can decapitate Ebony Lorenzo Acevedo, you can decapitate Jimmy Jimenez and Lorenzo Suarez, you can decapitate Jaime Suarez and Sons and Rick, you just implementing the everything. You're still coming to stay. By one to continue something like that. I think we some important. And we'll buy him gifts that he stores some of. That's terrorism, that's not even respect or love. Es un cuerpo asqueroso. I'm born. In the meantime, my husband is like, Aliano, yo no quiero que mi esposo se case con ella. I know, yo never can you can you I know Sydney is their challenges. There's some works. You know, just admit for discussion to see that that kind of different. Stop this shit. It's trying to cause me. It's trying to traffic me into again. It's trying to rape me. It's disgusting. It definitely want to know. And you've been having to tag his dad on Facebook like your kids still don't know how to behave. For ew, ew, ew. They think that I'm the one that looks bad. Like tell your kid to behave. They won't ever accept that they're at fault. Inagwala por all this gross. Nada de pene y la puta politiquería y nada de parte de pene. Es un cuerpo asqueroso. What that is. How many people do you like to try to get them person and military bases and everything like that? Yeah, most of them know that I have a Facebook friend. Husband is not like me, like just for him to not be like a little channel about to why I don't talk to him. But he said that decades ago. I'm just running to your name over there for and military bases. My dad thinks that he has creation to traffic you and you're outside of people. So that you can have babies and girls without us raping you outside. Because you won't be at your mother's home or in your own home in Puerto Rico. So you would be raped out in those places. Francis, whatever it was. Just centers. And it's let me traffic you. Saying you can Ew, ew, ew. He doesn't realize that I'm not going to give him the time to mock me about that. Bill Woolsey decades ago said to them, he's probably towards me when I was, what, 19? And you're very unlikely that she'll even forget in 20 years. And you just look how we are as a networking event here for social media. And that's what you're talking about. One of those lessons are stupid. One of I don't want to. Instruments to be potentially have enough productive to gratify themselves before they go. My siblings reinforce they let me remember hi, my love. I'm calling to say hi, and I love you. I will call you again tonight. Oh, they take the silent and then they take kind of sex out. I go paternity and tell me, yeah. Imagine like, get your thinking about it. I thought this thing about you. Looking at me like he just didn't find me right. They're disgusting, those people that I grew up around. They're disgusting. Oh my God, so gross. So gross. So gross. I have nothing in common with my siblings. I have nothing in common with a lot of people. They want to take on me for something to read. They're disgusting. They don't understand what child exploitation is. Stealing their adult life for free. They don't practice polyamory. They don't practice group sex in healthy ways that children won't say that they're being raped. They get off on people suffering. This leech decades ago, La Michelle Cordero is they get her dad was an alcoholic. Sadly, I met her in school. They get off in people suffering. They get off with people suffering. Disgusting. They're disgusting. This niche is still crime that my parents sometimes. No, What else? Anyways, it's that time. So now they have an answer in writing of why I never took it on a date, why I wanted it. That was over 20 years ago. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Eso no se le hace a una mujer. De nadie.